What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. During the last part, we got to see more of the scenario where Vegeta and Goku are completely removed from Earth. Continuing their training in Otherworld, now dead for good. But where's that going to lead them this time? Today is the finale after all, so what is this story going to finish off on? We'll be discussing that and more in this part. For this video, we'll set a like goal of 2,500 likes. Hitting that like goal will let me know you guys want to see more videos like this, and it really helps the channel, so be sure to drop a like. Anyways, let's pick up from here and continue this scenario into its finale. So as I kind of touched upon before, there's no need for Zamasu or the Tournament of Power. With the absence of the Universe 6 tournament, things are going to go differently from here on out. Of course, Zamasu is still being bitter like normal, but there's no real motivation for him to act on that. At least not in this story. And in terms of the Tournament of Power, well, there's going to be something else different in place of it. Remember how I mentioned Zeno was actually kind of intrigued by Goku and Vegeta's battle? Well, Zeno's bored. He's going to get even more bored considering the fact that he doesn't have another Zeno to hang out with. So at some point, he's going to want to do something about it. So Beerus and Champa, they apparently placed bets on which way their mortals would win in a fight. That's kind of cool. You know, it's like a chicken fight with the mortals. And Zeno thinks that could be fun to host. A lot of time passes, about a year or so. Goku and Vegeta have continued their training, growing so much stronger than before, exponentially stronger than they even were a year ago. They're continuing to practice with their blue forms and such. Goku works more with Blue Kaioken, and since he's dead, as I mentioned last time, he has a better grasp on it, able to use it much more effectively and much more efficiently. Granted, it still is something that's pretty draining. He can't just use Kaioken at all times because it is still ripping his body apart. But with him being dead, it allows him to manage the two together at once. Much better than if he were alive. As for Vegeta, well, he's ascended blue in his own way. By now, he definitely would have had a blue evolution. But even with that, the two of them are focused on completely separate things by now. The fact that they train 24/7 means that their training is basically on a fast track. So, what are they aiming for now? Well, for Goku, he's training mostly under Whis, trying to aim for something that he wants Goku to learn. And as for Beerus, he's been trying to train Vegeta to get something. Trying to tap into his instincts somehow. That brutish Saiyan nature, and that same nature that he unlocked once he became Majin Vegeta. He could utilize it for good. Or for a better purpose at least. He wants Vegeta to become a god of destruction, a candidate at the very least. And Vegeta's pretty intrigued. Also, it differentiates his training from Kakarot. That might be nice if he had his own thing, and maybe it'll be stronger than whatever Goku has. They're both hyped up, and they've been working towards these things more and more. And it seems they're about to have the perfect opportunity to showcase it, at least against someone other than themselves. Zeno sets up these tournaments. Yes, it's going to be a tournament, but it's going to be a different format than the Tournament of Power. Not a battle royale, it's more of a traditional tournament. He likes the idea of people fighting one-on-one, so he sets up a bracket. Or the Grand Priest does it for him. Making a pretty good idea for a tournament. Just like with the Tournament of Power, they're going to take the lowest ranked universes, 8 of them. And it's going to start with 16 people. 2 people will be from each universe. In a series of 1v1s structured like a normal tournament. There's going to be 2 fights between Universe 2 and Universe 3, between Universe 4 and 6, between Universe 7 and 9, and between Universe 10 and 11. So, the universes recruit 2 of their strongest fighters. Of course, Universe 7 already has Goku and Vegeta, but as for the other universes, they're pretty elated to show off their fighters. And since it's only just 2 of them, they don't need to scramble together a team. Most of the gods of destruction already have great mortals in mind. And it should make for a pretty interesting tournament. Which of the universes has the strongest fighters? Or at least in terms of their peak fighters. Of these strong people, these 16 fighters cherry-picked from each universe, specifically because of their strength, which of them is the strongest? And which universe will come out on top? Granted, there's no real prize here, it's for Zeno's enjoyment. But obviously there is an incentive to win. The winning universe will look way better in terms of Zeno's perception of them. This is a chance to improve it. I mean, they are the 8 weakest universes after all. Why not prove that they don't deserve to be amongst these 8? Plus, it's for the pride of their universe too. It's not just to make it look good for Zeno, but for the gods to actually judge their mortals. See how well they're performing. Especially if they're handpicked to train under the gods, or the angels or whatever. And they're actually pretty intrigued to see that Universe 7's fighters, they're both dead. The gods of destruction are confused by this, but whatever, Beerus has always been weird, so it doesn't really seem too out of the ordinary for him to have dead people training on his planet. But they didn't realize that was allowed. Either way, it doesn't matter. Actually, that makes Universe 7 look worse if anything. They look on and see that Beerus couldn't even find a living mortal that could help him. He had to find 2 dead people. That's kind of hilarious. He's definitely going to be out within the first round. Well, Beerus is a lot more confident than they are. But he hides it. He knows that his universe will perform well. The fruits of Goku and Vegeta's training are about to be shown. Let's skim through the first few rounds. the first fights aren't really anything too special. And the real fun starts next. First is a fight between the winners of the previous 2 rounds. One of Universe 3's warriors hand-built for this actual tournament itself, and Hit. And even though they made a robot just for this tournament, Hit still wins pretty easily, in fact. Definitely on a lot of the gods' radars. As for the next battle, it's between Universe 7 and 11. Goku versus Toppo. Now this should be interesting. Toppo is actually pretty strong, and it forces Goku to use a lot more of his power than he was expecting. Toppo is training under the god of destruction after all, and that makes Goku wonder. It might have been cooler if Vegeta fought him. And Toppo is surprised. Wait, there's another god of destruction candidate in this universe? Yeah, but it's not him. And Toppo kinda underestimates Goku. If he's not even the candidate, well, he's probably not the strongest one here. Vegeta probably would be. But that's not really the case here. Goku powers up into Blue Kaioken. And just as quickly as the fight begins, it ends, catching Toppo off guard too. Wow, for a god of destruction candidate, Goku kinda did expect more. Thankfully for Universe 6, 2 of their fighters actually made it past the first round. And next up is Universe 2's Jiren versus Universe 6's Kappa. Although Universe 6 is at a heavy disadvantage. Universe 6 doesn't have Super Saiyans. And even though Kappa is strong, without Super Saiyan, he's not gonna last in this battle. Jiren ends up winning. And for the 4th and final battle of this round, it's another fighter from Universe 7 and another from Universe 11. These 2 universes have become the favorites to actually win this tournament. Although now with one of Universe 11's fighters down, Universe 7's ahead. But the next fight's gonna be very different. Vegeta versus Jiren. And Vegeta could tell, Jiren's something else. He can't hold back anything against him, so he has to show off one of his newest techniques. He is a god of destruction candidate after all, so he should utilize the powers. This matchup becomes explosive. Vegeta tries everything he can against Jiren, but it doesn't work, even Blue Evolution. But he goes a step beyond that. The flames of Blue Evolution begin morphing. The dark bluish color of the aura changes purple, and a brilliant glow encapsulates him. Vegeta transforms into Ultra Ego, unleashing his instincts as a god of destruction candidate. His instincts as a Saiyan. That same destructive mindset he had when he became Majin Vegeta, he's utilizing that here, but for a much better purpose. It's not mindless combat. It's something very different, being utilized in a proper, godly manner this time. After those regretful mistakes he made becoming Majin Vegeta, he's not just gonna forget the past, he's gonna use it to invigorate him in the future. In this present moment, those same instincts, they can be utilized to win this battle, to become a proper god of destruction even. And Jiren's actually impressed. This power, it forces him to not fight suppressed. He actually has to utilize more of his strength too. And Vegeta's glad, Jiren's finally getting serious. And Vegeta utilizes everything that he can. Of course, he can't kill. So Hakkais are kind of off the table here, although he's not sure if any of his Hakkais would even kill Jiren. And the more he gets attacked, the stronger he gets. Jiren is the perfect opponent for him, allowing him to break his limits even further, getting stronger and stronger, with that battle spirit getting more and more vigorous. But even so, it's not enough. At a certain point, Jiren's power is too much. He unleashes more and more of his true strength as the battle goes on, and at some point, it usurps Vegeta's power, surprising the Saiyan. To think that even Ultra Ego's being outmatched by this guy. Kakarot's definitely gonna have a tough battle ahead of him. If Vegeta can't win it, he's not too sure about Goku. But it was fun, and allowed him to grow even more as a fighter. Vegeta's defeated, meaning Jiren moves on. Now for the semifinals. The first battle here is Goku versus Hit. And even though Hit's techniques are amazing, he never had the experience of fighting Goku here. He hasn't really fought someone strong in a while. But as for Goku, he's been continuously training, getting so powerful. And Hit's time abilities are hard to work around. But with the brute force of Blue Kaioken, he's able to break through Hit's time skip, defeating him in another explosive battle, although it's not nearly as hard as it was in canon in the Universe 6 tournament. Just because this is so much later on, and Goku's got a better grasp on Blue Kaioken and everything, plus he's stronger in general. And the next battle of the semifinals isn't too interesting either. Jiren versus Jiren. I don't even need to tell you who wins here. It's Jiren. And now, we get to the final of the tournament. Goku, the Saiyan from Universe 7, and Jiren, the Pride Trooper from Universe 11. This is definitely going to be an interesting fight. If Jiren was able to defeat Vegeta, well, the other gods and everyone else watching don't think that Goku's going to stand a chance. But Goku thinks the opposite. Well, he knows that Jiren's strong. Defeating Vegeta is no easy feat, especially with him having Ultra Ego and all. And it was a pretty close match apparently. But will this one be even closer? Well, right away, he tells Jiren to power up. Don't hold anything back. He knows when Jiren's suppressed, and he's not going to hold anything back either. So Jiren powers up, showing off his full strength. If Goku truly thinks that he's stronger than Vegeta, then he should be able to handle this. And Goku does think that this will work. He sees why Vegeta had such a tough time, but with his techniques, it might work. Vegeta had brute strength, but Goku feels like his techniques are more suited for this. Not to diss Ultra Ego or anything, but his technique, he feels like it'll work better. He's surrounded by bluish-purple flames, and the gods look on in disbelief. His hair flickers white as he shows off Ultra Instinct. By now, he's actually unlocked this form, and not just Omen either. He has the completed white-haired version, although it's not perfected. It still has a lot of issues with how he uses it, and it's pretty taxing on his body. But with how effective his training has been so far, he definitely would have this by now, even if he's only just beginning to use Ultra Instinct. It might not be the strongest version of it, or the most perfected version of it, but it still is Ultra Instinct. The battle ensues. And Jiren's actually perplexed at his power. Whenever he attacks Goku, even with his immense speed, Goku's able to dodge flawlessly. And if not that, he's able to parry, counter all of Jiren's movements, and also attack on his own too, and his attacks are potent. They're so well placed, so powerful, even Jiren's caught off guard. Vegeta watches on from the stands, commenting on this. Ultra Ego is great and all, and it's much more suited for him, but he can't deny that Ultra Instinct is definitely just as interesting too. Of course, for Ultra Ego to grow, he had to take more damage. The more he fought, and the more injuries he sustained, the stronger he grew, the more his battle spirit grew. But for Ultra Instinct, it's the opposite. Goku is calm, trying to avoid Jiren's attacks. Actually, that's not even really a good way to put it. He's not trying to avoid the attacks, he just does it subconsciously. There's no effort there. Jiren begins showing off more and more of his true strength. He still was holding back just a little bit, but even as he buffs himself further and further, it's nothing against Goku. Ultra Instinct is just too much, and Goku ends up winning the fight. It's intriguing to think how full circle he's come. He thinks back to his training a while ago with Roshi and Krillin, and his first tournaments too. It all led up to this, more godly training, more tournaments, and more showcases of his power. Everything he learned from all of his masters, it rings true in his mind even now. And as for Vegeta, it's a pretty similar case for him. The negative effects of being a Saiyan, that terrible mindset that he had, as well as the things that he did as Majin Vegeta. He's able to utilize that now for a much greater power. And as a God of Destruction candidate, he actually does some good in the universe. He does Beerus's dirty work for him, such as stopping threats before they occur. You know, people like the Heaters, Moro, etc. He does go out and do this from time to time. And whatever he does, it's kind of weird because on Earth, Gohan feels like he sends Vegeta, which doesn't make sense. Vegeta's dead. Why does he send something like Vegeta's energy out there? He doesn't really question it, because even if it is Vegeta, that's just a good thing. He hopes the two of them are doing well in Otherworld, because here on Earth, he's flourishing, as are the other two hybrid Saiyans. The next generation is growing stronger, as well as the previous generation. Both are going down their own paths, growing as people and as fighters. And this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this scenario? And if it ever continued, what do you think will happen next? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. Be sure to drop a like on the video too if you want to see more videos like this. It really helps with the channel, and it lets me know that you guys want to see more. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting the scenario, and I'll see you all in my next video.